What's up, everybody? It's me, Will, and in honor of Men's Mental Health Month, I'm just gonna spill it. Um, so here I am back in New Jersey. Um, some of you guys might have known that I went to Montana for work. That did not work out. Um, I lasted about 2 weeks at the job and packed my dorm up, had to come back home. Um, but let's go back a little bit further. Um, Going back to like the end of my massage career, which is almost 2 years ago now, I put in notice at the spa I was working at because I had this big grandiose delusion that I was gonna move to Las Vegas and become like this amazing Las Vegas massage therapist. And it took forever for Nevada to get me my license. So by the time they had gotten me my license, I had gone through the money that I was planning on using to move. So I didn't end up going to Nevada. I ended up just staying home in New Jersey and just breaking myself, like, financially. Um, uh, didn't work for almost a year and a half. Um, Once I tried to go back to the spa I was working at, they wouldn't take me back. I just spiraled. Because I told myself when I was in massage school that I was never going to work in food and beverage again because I just hate it. And once I realized that I was washed out of massage, like I was trying to get jobs at other places, and it's just like the pay structure and the travel I would have had to have done didn't make any sense at all. Then my car broke, so I ended up being stuck here in New Jersey with no car, massage license that was about to expire, but I had a license in Nevada where I couldn't afford to move, and I just sat here every day, just in my downward spiral, you know, feeling like things were never going to get better, feeling like I had lived the best part of my life, feeling like things were just over, feeling like I was going to die, feeling like just one morning I wouldn't wake up. And I went through that for what felt like a year. I wasn't taking care of myself. Some days I'd forget to brush my teeth. Some days I'd forget to take a shower. I would forget to eat. I would forget to take my bipolar medication. I really thought that my life was ending. And there were a lot of times when I would lay there and think, I wonder what people are going to think when they find out I'm dead. Are people really going to care? Or, I mean, I guess some people will, but a lot of people that I've met, along the way, they might not even know that I'm not here anymore. So I just went through that, man, for months of just sitting here and staring at the TV, having to put captions on because I was so out of it that I needed to read the words or I would stare at the TV and just drift away. My cat is what got me through. Uh, took a lot of kratom. Smoked a lot of weed. Didn't do a lot of drinking, thankfully. That would have made it worse. Drinking makes you feel worse. But just things went bad, man. And at one point, I realized that I had to try and take an out-of-state job. I've done 4 out-of-state jobs before, where you take a contract in a different state and they house you and feed you, and when you leave, you get a bonus and stuff like that. So I figured, I was in a situation where in my hometown, there's just nothing available. None of the restaurants around would hire me, even though I'd worked in them before. It was ridiculous. And in my town, specifically where I live, there's just nothing. There's just nothing. And I decided to start looking for traveling jobs, and eventually I found this one in Montana that I took, and said, all right, you know what, I'm going to put myself in a position where I either have to sink or swim. I move myself out there. I will be living in housing that is owned by the establishment that I'm working for, so I'm going to have to work. I have to get my ass in gear. And I got a bartending job, and it was a pretty sweet gig. It was a nice bar. It was a new restaurant. Working with people from all over the world. And it just did not work out. I didn't even make it through training. I made it, I think, like to 11 out of 14 days. But I started to get these headaches, and I stopped being able to sleep. I don't think I slept right for like 4 days, and it was to the point where things looked different. Like there was a visual distortion to things that I was looking at, because I was so tired, exhausted, things were almost flashing. I spent, I think, 4 days in my room in my condo, with the window blacked out, and like relaxing like waves or static or something on the speaker, just trying to relax and sleep. And the more you lay there, the more worked up you get, So I kept missing work because I couldn't sleep. I don't know how many of you have suffered from insomnia, but when you can't sleep, I mean, not only are you obviously exhausted, but physically, but I mean, there's a mental exhaustion that comes along with it too, because you're in your own head all night when you can't sleep. It's like you can't turn off this noise inside your mind. And it's terrible. I want to say I don't wish it on anyone, but I do wish it on the people who didn't try to understand my situation, on people who, when I was like, listen, I'm really having trouble sleeping, like seriously, people who didn't take me seriously, I would like to see them deal with it, just so they know what it feels like. But anyway, after a few days of missing work, I talked to the manager, and he said he was going to need to see a doctor's note. And I said, okay, because I needed to go to the hospital to get something to help me sleep anyway at that point. So I said, all right, I'll go get a doctor's note. I'm not going to be in today. I'm going to go to the hospital. and see a doctor and get that taken care of. And then the next text was that I didn't have a job anymore from them. I don't know why they asked for the doctor's note. I really don't know why. If they were just going to terminate me once I said that I was going to get it, it doesn't make sense. But I had this beautiful condo with a beautiful view of this beautiful green mountain. So many cool people. I lived with so many cool people, and I miss all these dudes. Like, I lived with 6 other guys. It was a condo with like 5 bedrooms. And I miss these dudes. And I miss being in Montana. And I miss how not humid it was and how beautiful it was. And just, that's where I want to be, man. That's where, if I could snap my fingers, that's where I would want to live, is that area. And it just fell through. But at the same time, coming up after training, they had me working these 8 a.m. shifts, but the shuttle ran at like 5:55. So I was going to have to get up at like 5 o'clock a.m. to take a 5:55 shuttle to this lodge. I'd get to the lodge at 6:15. And then I would sit there for an hour and 45 minutes before my 8 a.m. shift started. And my 8 a.m. shift was basically me being a barista and making smoothies for people at the gym. I don't even really consider that bartending. Bartending is alcohol. You know what I mean? I get it just because I'm behind a bar. I guess you want to call it bartending. There's also a bar where kids were allowed to sit, and that's one reason I like bartending. Or two, should I say, is A, no mornings, B, no kids. So had I known that that was the job, that there were going to be kids and I was going to be making smoothies at 8 in the morning, I wouldn't have even went in the first place. Granted, I did want to get the doctor's note and give it a chance, but it just didn't work. And I feel bad because there were a lot of cool people. I liked 2 out of the 3 managers. The GM was an awesome dude. Somebody I think I could have worked well with, and it just sucks. On top of all of that, I'm being investigated by the FAA for drinking my own alcohol on a flight. So that's happening too. All the good shit's really happening at once here. So, rock the fuck on. I'm gonna, I think, watch something on HBO or maybe play Silent Hill 2. I don't know. But that's what's been going on. It hasn't been easy. I've been quiet about it. I just haven't wanted people to worry. There were some points where I was really low. And, man, just check in on your people. Make sure your people are doing all right. You guys, thanks for watching and listening. And I'll talk to you soon.